All right, I think we are live here. For there's anybody watching, please chime in and let us know if the sound is okay, the video quality. But I have Jason here, the producer, organizer of the Toronto Timepiece Show. He just showed up with a brand new shirt for me, which I'm really digging. These are going to be available at the show. How you doing,
Thanks.
Jason?
I'm well, thanks, and thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to spend some time with you and hang out and
Yeah.
just talk about watches. And certainly excited to talk more about the show.
So I've known Jason. We were trying to figure it out yesterday between somewhere in around 2017, 2018, we met when he was starting his watch brand, Zanea Watches, and it was quite the journey and quite a neat experience for me to sort of see how all of the ups and downs that kind of go on behind the scenes with that sort of thing. And since he started the Timepiece Show, sort of the ups and downs that come along with that too. But what made you
Absolutely,
decide to switch from, or not switch because you're still doing Zanea, but
absolutely.
enter into the whole world of timepiece shows?
As a brand owner, I had the opportunity, and also as an attendee, to go to quite a few of the shows in the U.S. and other geographies as well. And really, Canada had nothing like it currently. And I thought about a year and a half ago, I was like, Toronto, especially, which is of course where I'm living. And I just thought we could really use our own show. I thought it would be a great opportunity. So I started looking into it and doing some research and yeah, put a deposit down on the venue once I found a spot that I liked. And I just started building it from there. So it's been an incredible journey, but I've absolutely love it. We'll talk a lot more about it, but it's set up to be a really, really amazing show and amazing weekend, I think. So
Just while we're going here, I'm testing a couple of things because I haven't done a live stream in a while. So I'm just going to try to pop up the time frame for the show from Jason's website here. So
yes.
there it is, the 27th to the 29th, public show hours, 10 a.m. to 5:30 on the Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5:30 on the Sunday.
Correct. So it's been incredibly popular. We've registered well over 3,000 tickets right now. So Saturday is currently closed for tickets. I will probably open that back up closer to the show date, maybe a couple of weeks before, just another small block of Saturday tickets for
Mhm.
people. But Sunday is still available at this point, and but it's just proving to be an incredibly popular show. Even
So a
today, there's been
total of 3,000 across the 2 days?
over. Yes,
Over.
over actually. It's like,
Wow. So
yeah,
that's
these are
good.
tickets issued. So you got to assume some people are not going to be able to make it or they won't show up. But most shows that I know that are running in other parts of the world who issue free tickets, usually the show rate is about 75, 80, 85%. So I'm anticipating very large crowds for the
So
show.
one thing, Jason has a pretty big announcement to make. We'll get to here in a bit, but there's some unique things that are happening at the show that I think people would be interested to hear about, and I think they're going to be really pumped to see in person when it
I think so.
happens.
Yeah, some of them I haven't publicized yet on the website, although they've been in development. One of the things that's going on for the show during public show hours on Saturday is we actually have a reserved theater area. It's going to be open to the public, but it's a area just for presentations. So we have a number of panelists and speakers and people coming sharing their experiences within the watch industry. These are brand owners. We have an individual named Alexander Beauregard. He's actually a lot of people don't know him in the Canadian landscape, but he's actually an ultralogy brand owner. Amazing timepieces. He's going to come speak about his journey. We have a number of artists who are coming: Diana Evans, Julie Cross, and Dan Tannenbaum. All of them are Canadian, both Ontario and Quebec artists who work in the kind of field area of horology for
Yep.
their own art.
Yep.
So they're going to talk about their creative process, and we've got a number of brands and other folks coming in. So it's going to be a really amazing show. And actually, you're going to be one of the moderators as well
Yep.
for one of the talks as well for the Canadian brand. So we're going to have some Canadian representation, and they're going to talk about their brand journey and their experiences that they've had.
Some of the days I'm
Yes.
I'm actually going to be. It looks like I don't want to give it away yet which brand because we haven't nailed down the details. But I might actually be working a booth for at least a part of the show with one of my all-time favorite brands I've featured here on the channel a bunch of times out of the UK. So looking forward to that. It's going to be a very busy weekend, especially for this
Sure.
guy.
It will be. I remember, Bob, you were laughing at me, and not at me, you were just laughing with me about during the show. I'm probably going to be one of the guys having the least amount of fun because I'm going to be working basically nonstop from 6 a.m. till about midnight every day. But I've absolutely loved putting this together. The feedback from the community, from the brands, has been just overwhelmingly positive. I can't tell you how excited so many of the brands are to be here as well. This will be the very first time that a lot of the brands have had the opportunity ever to exhibit in Canadian geography. So they're super, super excited to connect with their customers and, to build relationships and show what creations they've put together and share their passion of watches and horology. So it's going to be an amazing weekend.
So there's a few people watching. If you could confirm that our sound is okay, video quality is decent, that would be awesome. And any questions to Jason or myself, you're more than welcome to leave those in the comments too as we go through the stream. But for the people that can't make it to the show, one thing that Jason is doing is he is hiring professional videographers to film a lot of the show.
That's correct.
Yeah, like
Yeah, so there's the different elements of it. I'm For the speaking presentations on the Saturday, I have a professional video crew coming in, and they're going to be recording actually all of the presentations and panelists. So those files will be uploaded to a number of different channels. So even if you don't get the opportunity to see those presentations, which they're going to be great, you'll be able to review them and look at them later. I'm included in the audience as well because I'll be running around keeping busy with a lot of other things. And I just saw the screen populate there, so it's good that we're on board.
Yeah.
This is good. We weren't sure if anybody there, but it looks
Yeah.
like they're all there now.
We've got the Masker that's I believe is going to be at the show too. If you could confirm, maybe, but I think
I know.
you're going to be there. Yeah, he's going to be there. Yeah,
100%.
Ruben True North Muskoka is actually a really good friend of mine.
Nice.
That has sort of gradually become one of us watch
Excellent.
nerds. He lives really close, or he has a cottage really close to our cottage up north.
Bob and I are both enablers, so you have to be really careful.
Yeah,
getting to know us because you'll inevitably start buying watches if you hang out with us.
Vaskar is in, and I think he lives very close by. I've never met in person, but we communicate on Instagram quite a bit.
Yeah.
So anything else with the show as far as we were talking about the videographer?
So the videography crew, all the presentations are going to be recorded. I mean, I would love to stay and watch these sessions as well, but it's going all day on Saturday, so I won't really get to see them very much. So I'll be enjoying them later after the show as well. But I really wanted to do that to just help other people, even if they can't come to the show, they can still enjoy some elements of the show afterwards. Our crews will be going around. We've got a number of different folks just keeping busy, taking photographs at the show, recording. We have a special guest, Dan Mann, who's the Dansum out of Vancouver, BC. He's a good friend of mine, and he's going to be coming out and doing some kind of roving filming with a videographer as well, and interviewing some of the brands. And
he'll have a kind of a fun take on things.
He's got an amazing sense of humor, and he's just a very fun guy. So he's going to create a lot of good energy. I think there's already going to be tons of energy there, but he's going to be around. We've got Eric from Edmonton, who's Rico's Watches. So he used to have a podcast, Rico's Watches podcast. Many people will know him. He's a moderator for a couple of our talks, and he'll be out in the floor, and just it's really an engaging weekend. Just if you're a watch enthusiast, I mean, you're absolutely going to love this. Actually, today I was even to talk about, like, many people know about the show, but there's still lots of people that are learning about it. I was in the line at the bank because I was paying a bill, getting something done, and the guy in front of me was wearing a watch, and I recognized the watch. So we started chatting, and I tell him about the show, and he's like, "Oh, this sounds really cool. I didn't know this was going on." So he actually went on the website and registered for a ticket right there for Sunday. So he's definitely coming, and he's a huge collector. So as the show develops, more and more people will know about it. But I think at this point, it's just going to be a very, very popular weekend. So I would recommend for anyone who has tickets for Saturday and Sunday, doors open at 10 a.m. Please do get there early because there's probably going to be a very large queue to get in.
Yeah.
And I just want to provide the opportunity for those folks who want to come, that they can get in, just enjoy the show. And it's going to be very, very popular.
Lots going on. You're going to have the radio station there.
Yeah, there's a live to air radio station. So Z1035, which is a local radio station. And I've been a fan of them for a long time. And we were using them to help promote the show, but also just create some excitement around the show. So they're going to be on site doing a live to air broadcast on Saturday, the opening day for the public, from 10 a.m. to 2. So I've had it confirmed that Tony Monaco, who's one of the DJs there, he's been around for a long time. He's going to be the DJ, and that's going to be pretty fun to have him around too. And they have part of the live to air, they have like a crew that has giveaways and all sorts of stuff. So they'll
Yeah.
be working the lines and giving stuff out of the show. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And speaking of giveaways,
Yes.
there's going to be some giveaways at the show from
Absolutely.
mostly from brands that are attending the show.
Correct. There's a few that are not, but still wanted to support the show
Yeah.
and have a presence. So we have a few of those, but we also have some of our brands who are exhibiting this year who've also donated some incredible prizes. So maybe we can talk a little bit about those,
Some of
and we'll
those,
kind of
sure.
chat about them. So
Yeah.
so this is, I'll hold it up to the camera and then I'll let Bob give his comments there. So this is from Delmo Watch, so a great Swiss company. Unfortunately, they could not attend this year, but they were actually very generous when I was talking with them, and they said, you know, we wanted to provide a watch for the show just as a giveaway prize. So this watch is really quite beautiful.
Nice.
And anyway, so this is one of the prizes, and this was actually probably one of the first ones that was donated to the show. Just for the opportunity of attendees to get one. So
Yeah,
just the
nice.
way I'm going to work it with all of the giveaways, everyone who comes to the show is going to get a ticket or an entry.
Yeah.
And then as some of the other shows, and one thing I've seen done is you enter your ticket, you just throw it into a big bin, and then they do the draws, and what you win is what you win. I'm going to do it a little differently.
Yeah.
I'm actually having separate entry bins, and you can see inside how many entries will be in there.
Yeah.
So you can actually, if you have one entry or two entries, you can choose the prize that you want to try and go for.
Mhm.
So, there may be some prizes are a little bit larger than other ones, but again, some of the other prizes you may have a better odds of winning. And I'd like to do it because I think it's going to, hopefully people are going to win it. It's
Mhm.
going to be the prize that they get really excited about.
Yeah,
So
no, that's
I think
cool.
that's better for the brand. I think it's better for the winners as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah,
so
100%.
I've got 8 different ballot boxes that I'm going to have kind of set up there. So
Awesome. This is
Yeah.
a really nice
so
one.
that's
I
really
like that
nice.
one. Yeah.
So the next one is from a US brand, and they are at the show, is Far and Sweat. And Adam is a great guy. I've known him from several other shows, and he was kind enough to also donate this watch for a prize. And like I say, he's looking forward to the show as well. This will be the first time for him exhibiting in Canada as well. So they're quite a fun group. So
I'm just trying to find some pics of these watches as we go,
Yeah,
so
it's,
to put them up on screen.
there.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the Wayfinder
yes.
Blue. I've actually featured some of this particular watch, different dial variation, but I featured this watch on the channel. Nice watch.
You're gonna pull it up on the screen.
Yeah, just for
Okay.
a second.
There we
This
go.
is the one.
Beautiful.
Pretty cool dial.
It's really nice in person, so it's very nice. And the next one, these folks again, they're not able to come this year, but RZE, and they're a great group as well. So they've given this absolutely fabulous watch as a prize. And I'm also producing a similar show in Vancouver, BC, in the spring of 2025. So they have actually confirmed that they will
For
be
Vancouver.
in Vancouver as well. Yeah. So
There's lots in the works because I know you're already even sort of working towards next Toronto Timepiece Show with some interesting stuff that isn't locked down.
We won't
yet,
talk
I know.
about that, but
Yeah,
it's working on, the funny thing with the shows when you're working doing these shows is that for me, my timeline or horizon from a planning standpoint is about a year to a year and a half out.
Yeah.
From when I'm actually executing on the show. So the planning that goes into place in terms of making sure everything is lined up is incredibly long. The brands also have a long timeline. Again, depending on where they're from. Some brands, can be pretty flexible, especially if they're a smaller brand or an independent brand, and they can decide with a few months' notice that they want to come. Other ones sometimes take a year to 2 years to plan. So it's really varies a lot depending on who you're with. And this one is another exhibitor at the show. This is Sfera Watch Company. I had the pleasure of meeting the whole team when I was in Geneva in April of this year. And they are an absolutely amazing group of guys, and they're so much fun. And they put together this watch, and I think Bob will show it here. What they've done as for the prize, they've actually made a unique case back. So they've emblazoned the Canadian.
We'll just kind of show you the back.
Yeah, hopefully it shows up a little bit. So which way? There we go. Yeah, so they've emblazoned the Canadian maple leaf on the back, and actually even the box, which I don't have with me right now, they've customized. So it's got a maple leaf and some other elements on there as well.
Very
so
cool.
they really customized it specifically for the show, and these are pretty fun watches when you get them in hand. So, and these will
Nice.
all be on display, of course. So when you put your ticket in for the one that you hope to win, you're going to be able to see that which one you're going for. So, and this is another. Show this one. This is a smaller brand out of Malaysia, and again, they just wanted to support the show and have some presence. So this is Aerotech, and I think Bob, you have done some work with them.
I actually have their newest release upstairs right now.
Oh, you do? Okay, I didn't know that. So.
I'll show you the app.
There you go. Extra plug for Aerotech. So anyway, yeah, so they're a pretty cool group, and like I say, I think they do want to attend. We have the brands that are exhibiting this year. Actually, we've got brands from 17 different countries coming, and nearly 60 brands involved in the show in one form or another. So it's really, really very, very exciting. This is another prize here. So this is the Mido super compressor, I believe is the title. So this watch was donated by one of our retail exhibitors, Gem Bijou. Sam, he's a great guy. And,
I used to work there.
Yeah, he's been,
So
he's been super,
well.
super supportive.
Yeah.
And he's just an amazing guy, and they're going to be part of the show. They're going to be bringing a lot of very interesting product to the show as well. So certainly there'll be so much to see and do at the show, but definitely go by and check out Gem Bijou as well. I think you'll find
Sam's really
pretty
good
incredible
with
stuff there. So
we got some more people checking in here. Ken Spear from Pittsburgh. Everyday watch guys checking in from the streets of London, Ontario. And I know you're pretty good.
I do.
They just did a live stream last week, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. So.
Yeah. This isn't going to be up to that kind of standard.
But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I'll take this one off. This one's a big boy. So this is from Marathon Watch, which I'm sure almost everyone here, if not everybody, knows. And they have donated an absolutely spectacular timepiece. So this is quite a large guy. It is 46 millimeters, full stainless. It's basically their top of the line model that they offer, and they're offering.
It's the CSAR, I believe.
I believe that's it. Yeah, and this is an absolutely fantastic watch. And like I said, the retail value of this is close to $6,000. Yes, it is a very, very nice timepiece and heavy. Yeah. It's heavy. You could knock somebody out with this. Forget weaponry. Just hit him in the head. That'll be it. So, anyways, lots of fun stuff that the brands or other folks participating are doing that. We will actually have one additional prize as well from a exhibitor who has just recently signed on, and that's part of the special announcement, but we'll talk about that in maybe a few minutes. So I just want to maybe give a couple of acknowledgements. There's so many brands who've been super supportive of the show, and I really want to give a shout out. I want to give two shouts out in particular to are pretty early sponsors, and there are platinum sponsors. So the first one is Christopher Ward out of the UK. They came on board very early onto the show, really before much of it had been developed, but they believed in the vision and they really wanted to connect with the Canadian audience. So Christopher Ward, thank you. I talked with Mike France, and he was the one that kind of helped make that decision. Since that time, Mike Pearson, who some folks may know, he's the North American director. He's coming on board, so Mike will be here. Some of the other staff as well. Mike France, unfortunately, had a scheduling conflict, so he can't make it this year. But Christopher Ward has been super, super supportive of the show, really from almost the first couple of months that I started talking to brands. So thank you for that. And Strapsco, which is out of Montreal. Yeah, I mean, they're another amazing brand. Martin, who's the owner, is a great guy, very down to earth. Strapsco is one of those companies that, because of their reach with their straps and the way they market themselves, they've kind of had touch points with almost everybody in the watch community at one time or another. So very, very excited to have them there as well. They're also going to be in attendance. They've told me in Vancouver as well. So
I'm just gonna, as we're talking here, kind of scroll down through the brands that are coming. Yeah, because we're not gonna have a chance to cover them.
So I mean, some of the other ones with bigger booths: Isotope, Jack Mason, Vortec watches, Fears, Minas. Great Japanese Swiss brand. So many. Zanea, my brand. We're just a gold booth, though. We're not. That's Circular out of Germany. I mean, Whitby, Swiss watch company, Terry Crafted, Standard H. They make some really cool streetwear and clothing. We've got a lot of brands out of Asia too, like Havan, Tuvali.
Studio Underdog is a big.
Studio Underdog is a huge one. Yeah. And there will be availability of the pizza watch, from my understanding, because I know a lot of people ask about that. There's just so many here.
Vario,
Yeah,
Laco,
Vario, Germany, Bowcroft, Core,
Baltic.
Venezianico, Brew Watchers. I mean, there's so many. I'll tell you when as well is also going to be here. I mean, they're a great brand. There's a bunch of stuff happening for the special guests too. We also have the Grey NATO will be on site and recording an on-site live podcast at the end of the day on Saturday as well in the theater. So, and they've been, I want to give a special shout out to them because they have been absolutely super supportive. Jason Hutton and James Stacy in so many regards.
The other one that I want to kind of plug that's going to be doing a lot of coverage, and it's sort of plugging myself too at the same time.
That's okay. We talked about this ahead of time.
Yeah, the calibrated wrist is going to be there doing a lot of different coverage write-ups.
Yeah.
And some of you guys might not know, but we've started a podcast, Brent Robillard, myself, and Mark from Mark to Time. We've done 2 episodes now. We just had the director of Olympic timekeeping on the last one. Brent secured an interview with him, so it was a pre-recorded interview as part of the podcast. You can find it under Time #2 Calibrate, time space the #2 Calibrate on Spotify, all of the places where you listen to your podcast. So there's my plug.
And I heard a rumor they might be doing something at the Toronto Timepiece Show.
Yeah,
as well. So.
And I think we may try to have Jason on the podcast here in the next couple of weeks.
Awesome. Yeah, it's thank you too for your support. You've been very supportive from day one, not only of Zinea but the show as well as we continue to build it.
So supportive. One of the last times we did a video together, I chased him out of the yard with my drone.
That is true. That is true.
And down the road even.
Yeah, my legs were sore after. I don't run enough anymore. But anyways, that's okay. Yeah, so I mean, there's so much going on with the show. The brands I talk to them every day. They are so excited to be here and engage the Canadian community. They're just so looking forward to being up here in Canada. I know in addition to the show, there's a lot of kind of extra special events which are happening with many of the brands where they might have like a dinner or a get together. I believe, is it the Calibrated Wrist or is it just Roby that's doing something with RZE, I believe, as well, right?
I think it's the Calibrated Wrist.
Yeah, so they'll be doing like a little evening get together, very casual. The Grey NATO usually has like a hangout night. I believe Studio Underdog may do one of their pizza parties as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening.
Yeah.
So there's going to be so much activity happening and going on. If you haven't already reserved your full day for watch shopping and geeking out over watches, save your evening too, because there's going to be a lot of activities going on outside of the show as well. So I'm very supportive of that. I think it just makes for a more robust experience for everybody who comes.
100%. The only problem is to me, there's so many people I want to sort of meet that I haven't before, brands from out of the country, like people that I've dealt with over the years, that it's going to be hard to like get time enough to kind of get together with.
It's going to be tricky. And, you know, like I'll use as a reference when I talk to people about the show and brands, often like your name would come up because you do a lot of work with your reviews and whatnot. They're like, oh, I'd love to meet Bob. And I always wanted to meet him, always wanted to meet him. So, you know, there's a huge list of people who want to spend time with you as well. It's going to be great, but it becomes a challenge. One thing I, as a attendee at some of these big shows, and I had the opportunity, I think I mentioned earlier, I went to Geneva first time in April. That was an absolutely amazing experience, but you know, you were busy from 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning right through till 10 or 11 at night, and you're just meeting so many people and engaging brands, and just there's so many amazing activities. And you know, I want to emulate that and create that opportunity within the Toronto and Canadian landscape. So there's a lot of long-term plans in terms of the show and how I want to build it and grow it over time. And I think we're off to a great start. So
I'm just looking off to the side here because my computer is over this way, maybe not the best placement for it, but Watch Wit just chimed in. Beauty Marathon, he has a really good channel. Have you ever checked out his channel?
I have actually.
Yeah, good sense of humor. I think I'm not sure where exactly in the States he is, but yeah, he has some awesome content, and his channel is growing like majorly fast too, which is cool.
This is part of one of the things that we're doing actually with the show, because people will see on the website where I talk about the dates, and it's September 27th to 29th. The 28th and 29th are the public days, so those are the days the tickets are available. On the Friday night, I'm actually doing what's called a creators night. So it's an invitation only night. The reason I created that, and this actually came from feedback, not only from brands, but also creators within the community. They come out and, they'll want to interview the brands. They're trying to content. They're having all sorts of dialogue. And during the public show, because it gets so busy, it's very challenging sometimes to do that. So what I wanted to do was really create an opportunity for the creators. So journalists, photographers, bloggers, reviewers, other folks, industry folks within the community here to have an opportunity to interface with all the brands before the public show starts. So that's the Friday night, and that's what's happening there. I do get a lot of requests. People want to come. Unfortunately, I'm just keeping it to creators for the most part, just so I can make sure the brands kind of get what they need out of it, and the creators as well. So that's something, as far as I know, is very unique. I don't believe any other show other than Watches and Wonders, where they have a full media week, has a dedicated time of a fairly lengthy period of time where just creators and some industry folks can get in and actually engage these folks. So, so it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
If we don't do this, we're going to get in big trouble with the watch community. Risk tech.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
I had to bust out the Zanea Ula diver on leather today. I've had this for quite a few years now, and awesome.
It comes up every once in a while, pictures and photos, and I like it. I always, as a brand owner, I always love when I see people's Zaneas out in the kind of wild, or they post it, and it always gives me a lot of pleasure. And so it's a lot of fun. And I'm actually not wearing a Zanea today. I felt in a vintage mood, so I'm gonna take this off so I can show it. So I'm wearing a vintage Seiko today. So I actually picked this up from another member of the watch fam out west. And I think it dates from around 1971, 1972. So I've been enjoying it. It's kind of a recent purchase. I picked it up maybe about 3 months ago, 4 months ago.
You've had quite a few recent purchases.
I've had a couple. This is the problem of organizing a watch show, because you're looking at watches all day long, even more so than before. So I've had a couple that I've picked up, things that I wanted. And anyways, I'm trying to hold off, but I picked up a few more watches this year than I had last year. So all good though, all good.
And Watch Wit says, sweet. I'm actually just playing around because I haven't gone live in so long with some of the little features here.
Sure. And we're happy to answer questions too if you have ideas about the show or things you'd like to see. And maybe we can talk a little bit about. I teased before on my channel, if some folks have seen it, that there was an announcement I was going to make with the show. So maybe, what do you think? Would now be a good time to bring it?
Would be an awesome time.
Yeah. So we have had some amazing support from the brands, and people who are coming, particularly our platinum sponsors. But the news that I wanted to share, and this just happened at the end of last week, it's not even up on the website yet, but we have signed on a third platinum sponsor for the show. And it is one that the watch community will know really well. I think they're a very well-respected enthusiast brand, and that is Oris watches out of Switzerland. So they're going to be coming. They're going to have a very, very large stand, and they're going to have a lot of product with them. So I'm very, very excited to have them on board.
That's a big one.
It is a big one. And it's, a brand with a tremendous amount of heritage. I think it's founded about 120 years ago, roughly. And, they're just an amazing brand and amazing people to work with. And we're putting, all the things together, and there'll be lots more information coming out, but they'll have quite a large setup in kind of the central area of the show. So that's a big news, and we're super excited. And they are also very, very excited to be coming to Toronto and taking part in this show.
That's awesome. So that'll be all updated on the website here.
It will be soon, yeah. So I want to thank Oris for having faith in not only myself and the show, but wanting to step in and be supportive of the community and the show as a whole. So very big news, and like I say, super excited to have them on board. And they've told me they will be putting a watch into the prize pool as well. So
wow.
Don't want to say what yet, just because I've given them free reign to choose what they want. But they said they told me what they think they were going to put in. So and it's a nice one. So wow. I think it's going to be pretty exciting to have them as part of the show.
It seems like it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I know you're in discussion with a couple of brands that we won't discuss specifically.
I'm running out of room though, so there's a limit to how many people we can fit into the venue, and we are like almost full right now. We actually had a very smaller brand, or not smaller, but a brand out of Puerto Rico just recently confirmed attendance at the show as well, so which is great. So there'll be more details with that one coming out, and but yeah, there's always lots of.
So how many brands do you figure now?
I'd have to look at the exact count, but it's for being involved in the show one way or another. I think it's probably sitting at about 58 or 57 right now, so almost 60. So
yeah,
once we sell the last table or so, we could break 60. There's a lot right now. There's plenty for anyone who wants to come to the show and enjoy.
So yeah,
so I saw a few comments come up after I talked about Oris coming, so be interested to see if there was anything.
We've got True North Muskoka with the round of applause here.
Oh, very good.
That's incredible from Ruben.
Very good. Thanks, Ruben, for joining too. So Ruben, I'm not going to say too much, but Ruben is actually, he's an amazing guy, and he's in process of developing his own brand, which he's been working on for a number of years. And the components I've seen of this watch so far are really quite unique and spectacular. So,
wow, cool.
Stay tuned. More to come. More to come from Ruben. I won't say any more than that. But he's going to be, he'll be coming to the show and check it out as a watch enthusiast. But
Torn just says here, Oris is coming, amazing. He just picked up their latest limited edition Great Barrier Reef Aquas.
Wow!
Congrats on the new watch. Those are sweet.
I think I saw that. Yeah, I think he just posted that. I believe.
I'll have to check.
Yeah, it was really nice. Really nice.
Awesome. Okay, I'm starting to get the hang of the whole interface again here, which is nice.
That's good.
This could have been a total failure. It was 50-50.
Oh, we're good. We were considering having some gin before we did the live, but we said, well, let's hold off. So
yeah.
I was recently down in Maryland, and it was the small kind of gathering for a watch show, and it was held in a distillery, and they had like a whiskey and watches theme. So they had a number of distilleries. So this is one of the distillers that was exhibiting, and one of the people I was talking to really recommended the gin. So I picked up a bottle and brought it home with me. So
down in Maryland.
Down in Maryland, yeah. So we're gonna enjoy a glass of that after the live. So.
I actually had 2 or 3 before we started.
Oh, you did. That explains a lot.
So as far as the show goes, is there anything else that you wanted to discuss?
I would just say, come down, have a great time. The crowds are going to be quite large, so everything's well planned out. We've got lots of support staff. Also, the Toronto police is going to be there as security as well, just to keep everything safe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm excited about the show. I think it's going to flow very well. There will be a lot of people, though, I anticipate. So, if you do have tickets for the show or you're coming down, please come early just to ensure you are able to get in and enjoy the show to the full extent that you want to. There's going to be so much happening. There's still more announcements coming in terms of brands participating. Obviously, Oris coming on board as a platinum sponsor is a pretty big one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to have that there. All the brands really want to engage and just do lots of fun stuff with the community here. So, take advantage of it. Go certainly to the brands that and you're comfortable, but there will be many brands there from around the world that you may not even have heard of before. So take the time and go chat with them, explore. They're all passionate. They're all believers in their craft, and they create incredible timepieces. And, it's the weekend's about coming together as a community, and the brands are all here to help support that. So show them some love.
And a lot of the brands will have watches for sale.
Many of them will. Some of them, because of international regulations and whatnot, they just bring it in to showcase it, and then they don't actually sell on site. But it's going to be variable depending on, again, the brand and what their makeup is. But certainly there will be product and things for sale there. So
support them by maybe picking up a new watch too. Like these guys are coming from far away, Singapore,
Hong Kong, China, England, Georgia, Puerto Rico, US, Canada, all over.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not a cheap trip.
Yeah, it's a big trip. So yeah, supporting them, and even if you don't pick up a watch from them, give them a follow, give them a shout out on social media. All these things make a big difference for the brands who are participating. So just show them that love.
Yeah.
And they appreciate it, and it's going to make a worthwhile show for them, and you folks will enjoy it too.
So I just wanted to show you, we got a little bit of swag here, and I think what I'll do when I do my next giveaway, probably before end of summer, I have a few of these here, but I've got some keychains made up that are going to be available.
This is from the Toronto Timepiece Show. So we have some swag along with the t-shirts. We have some keychains, and we got some lapel pins as well. So
backwards
there we go. Yeah. So that stuff will be available at the show. Not too expensive, and pick it up.
You got a really nice program that you're.
Yeah, we're doing an amazing magazine-sized program. So it's going to be a full-size magazine. We've actually got articles that have been written by some of our media partners in there, including like ads from the brands and whatnot. So I'm going to get about 1,000 of those printed up. So probably there may be some available still on Sunday, but they'll probably be gone, I would suspect, by the end of Saturday. So if you're there, grab one of those programs. There's a lot of good stuff in there and some good reading as well. So
yeah, it's going to be a lot.
It's going to be a lot
of fun. Yeah,
it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't tell you how amazing it is to have been able to put this together and interface and work with all the brands, and just the support and the love that's been shown by the local community in Canada and even elsewhere has really been exceptional. So I want to give a shout out and thanks to everybody.
A couple of questions. Vascar is asking if we'll have t-shirts or not. If you will have t-shirts for sale before the show, though.
I wasn't planning on it, but send me a DM. We'll figure it
out. All right.
Yeah.
And then and Watchwit is asking basically the same thing.
Yeah. So right now I'm not planning on listing them for sale on the website. I may do that in future years to have kind of ongoing swag that you can buy. Right now I'm just planning to have a table set up, and somebody's going to be selling it on site. So they should have like a point of sale unit so they can take debit, credit, things like that. So it'll be available at the store, at the show.
Vasilios is tuning in. Greetings from Greece.
Yes.
I'd love to get back there. It's been a couple, maybe almost 2 years, but we did Crete and Athens and absolutely loved it. The food was just over the top.
It's amazing. I went there years ago and went to Athens, as well as a small island called Milos, which a lot of the Europeans, a lot of the Greeks go to.
Yeah.
And we went there at the tail end of the season, so it was a little quiet, like it was kind of mid-September when we went, end of September, but it was great. People were friendly. It was a lot of fun. It was just absolutely beautiful place. And one of your co-hosts is there right now.
Yeah, he's about to be.
He's about to be.
Okay, Mark from the podcast is going to Crete, and his wife is actually originally from there, I think. But
amazing.
But it was amazing. There was actually one of the viewers of the channel, Stavros, that I'm not sure if he's watching. I'm sure he might catch this later. That took us out for the day, and
amazing.
Yeah, it was quite the trip. RK516 is here watching. Hello.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Okay, so as far as the show, I know there were certain things that you wanted to cover. Have we kind of
I think we've hit most of the main things. It's going to be a lot of fun. They'll be posted on the website soon, the schedule of events for the theater events. So the way I'm going to work that is not separate tickets for it. It's just a separate theater area within the show space. And if you want to come in and attend those, we have space for about 110, 115 seats within the small auditorium. So if there's a show that interests you, please come by, have a seat, sit down. They may try and do a few Q&A as well at the end of the shows. If you don't, they'll be recorded, so they'll be available to watch. But I would certainly encourage you to come while you're at the show. If you want to take a break for half an hour or 45 minutes, come and see one of the presentations. And it doesn't preclude you from getting back into the show or the exhibit area.
And that's all going to be on.
That's all on the Saturday.
Are you going to be posting it on YouTube?
It'll be posted on the website soon. Okay. But the actual presentations and panel discussions are going to be uploaded and put on YouTube later, so people can watch them after the fact. So, including me, I'm not going to get to watch them because I'm going to be busy doing lots of other things. So,
I'll just ask one last time if anybody has any questions for Jason or myself. Since we've covered most of what's happening with the show here, I'm not sure how much time we have with Jason now, but And any news on, I guess before we go, we could talk a little bit about Zanea. Anything happening with Zanea? I know there's
There is a little bit. We've got. I'm gonna have some new dial variations for the Eula Diver.
Yeah.
Those are still coming pretty soon, like probably within about 6 months, I would say. Those are the prototypes that I had done up have proven pretty popular. People actually picked them up at shows and things like that, so they're gone. But I'm gonna have a few different dial variations for that. There is a new model, and I was working on one, and it was looking nice, but it wasn't really, the design language wasn't speaking to me strongly enough. So I actually kind of put it to the side for a bit. And I've started to redesign it. I'm currently in the process of doing that. And I have a pretty strong vision of what I want to create. And it's going to be something quite special by the time it comes. It's probably more than a year away at this point.
Yep.
It's really going to be something quite spectacular.
Looking forward to that. RK516 is asking for a wrist check. We did do that already. I am wearing the Eula Diver from Zanea.
And I've got a vintage Seiko on from about, I think, 71 or 72 right now. So,
all right. So I think, are we good?
I think we're good. So, if anyone has any questions, I'm always available. I'll tell you where we can reach us, right? So, for the show, of course, our website is torontotimepieceshow.com. We're very active on Instagram, so that's at Toronto Timepiece Show. It's me who manages that account. So if you have questions or you need to reach out to me directly, please DM me. I'm pretty responsive on there. So, and like I said, I know you gave a plug earlier for your podcast, but maybe you can share some of the places where you can be.
So you can find me obviously right here on this channel, but at Time to Go 1978 on Instagram, and to give a search, the time, the number 2 space calibrate for the new podcast.
I'm gonna listen to it. It's pretty good. So I'm not just saying that.
We're 2 in, and there's maybe a little bit of work that needs to be done, but it's not too bad. I think we're starting to get the hang of it. There were a little bit of technicals on the first episode that we had to get past, but we're there, I think, now. So that is it. Really appreciate you guys tuning in tonight, and we'll do it again here real soon.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. We'll see everyone at the show.